When did you decide? What was the reason why you decided on Kyler Murray when you did, Steve?
Well, I think just because we had the time and we wanted to go through the process. There was no reason to speed it up. And, once you can take in all the information, not only from your coaches and your scouts and all the due diligence we did on the University of Oklahoma campus, I think at the end of the day, it became crystal clear, probably the week before that Kyler was the guy.
But was there something there that you saw, if you hadn't made up your mind prior to the draft, what was it that you were hesitating on or that you finally convinced yourself and everybody else that was the right guy?
Well, I think it's my job to really look at the big picture, which is, feeling out whether Josh Rosen plus, a defensive player is better than Kyler Murray and potential trade value. So, at the end of the day, we really just had to look at the big picture, and it was just too hard to pass Kyler up just because of the dominating traits that he has, the skill set, the things that I feel like he can do on the field to make us a better offense. There's no doubt that to me, he's the guy that catapults this organization moving forward.
Anybody try to blow your doors off with trying to get that number one pick?
Well, Frank Caliendo played as John Gruden was probably the best call I got. But, at the end of the day, there wasn't enough of a market to get us to come off of trading or drafting Kyler.
The offer for Josh Rosen, how many teams did you hear from for Josh Rosen?
Well, we had a number of conversations, but
here we go. Here we go.
The certainly the best partner was Miami.
How many teams did you hear from?
We talked to probably around 5 teams in total.
I like what you did with the draft. I think Murphy out of Washington, I think he starts right away. Thompson out of Alabama, Butler out of Iowa State. I think people focus on the top part of the draft, but you win with those middle rounds, those late rounds. And I think Arizona did a really good job here, Steve.
Yeah, I think the one thing we wanted to focus on, Dan, was playmakers, and 3 of those receivers were in the top 8. I think Andy Isabella was 1, and then we had 6 and 8 in terms of receiving production in the NCAA, which again goes to show that those guys are perimeter threats and can certainly. Andy Isabella is a guy that's got great speed and can take the top off. And then Mr. Relevant was Caleb Wilson out there at UCLA, and he led the NCAA as a tight end in receiving yards. So. A number of guys that I think can help us early. Also excited about Zach Allen, a defensive end from Boston College, who, in my time scouting, I don't think I've scouted a defensive lineman who's had 100 tackles.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on VR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.